It's full blown sexual harassment just on the internet. So that's just like walking out your door and it's like, oh, like it's just there. Like you're walking back from your mailbox and you turn to the left, there's a there. Like that's exactly what it is. Right? There's no sugarcoating it. Because you literally, it's just there. There's no different than a man you're walking down your neighborhood and somebody just pulls their stuff out. Like it is the exact same thing. And because you know him, it's like your neighbor, like, hey, John, oh, sorry, you did that. Like, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg. Join my co-host Razi and Buff. Before we get started, we're going to jump into today's show, starting with a moment of silence for a great man that we all know and love and will miss. As you all know, Razi lost his father this past week, so this moment of silence is for you, Dad, and then we're going to open up with you, Razi.
Appreciate that, Ferg, and thank y'all. I just want to say thank you to all the listeners, all our fans, all our friends, our family, for all the well wishes, reaching out. You know, it really did help. I talked about it when Jen passed. You know, I may not have responded, may not have answered, but at the same time, it did keep me uplifted. It was just a lot going on this week. But what I will say is that, you know, when you're dealing with a sick parent that's been sick for a long time and they've been struggling and they've been going through and then they hit the hospital, and like my dad had been in the hospital since Thanksgiving. He went in the afternoon of Thanksgiving. So when you're dealing with, you know, them being in the hospital for a week and a half, and you're there most of the time, you know, going up, visiting and things like that, when the end comes, you do get a little bit of closure. We were all there. My sisters and the whole family was there, you know, when he passed. And so it was a chance for us to really be together and be able to support each other and say goodbye. So I think that is why my family, you know, especially my sisters and my mom, are being so strong about what's happening, and, you know, being able to kind of go on and record, go back to work and do what we needed to do. But it still hurts. I mean, you know, just got to be honest about it. It hurts every day. But at the same time, we're able to function because we did have that closure. It wasn't a wake up and, oh my God, what happened type thing. And just knowing that, you know, he's in a better place. You know, I believe in God, and I believe that, you know, he's in a better place. And on top of that, I think it's one of those things that he's not hurting anymore. He's not having to. He always talked about he was on like a real strict no salt diet, and he always talked about I'm tired of eating this bland food. You know, so he don't have to eat the bland food anymore. He don't have to have, you know, my mom helping him to the bathroom and stuff like that towards the last you know, kind of couple months. And so all of that makes a difference, man. Where you can at least feel comfortable that, you know, he didn't have to suffer and he's not dealing with everything that he was dealing with. But as far as you guys, I appreciate the support. I really, really do. I love all y'all. I love you two guys right here. Cooley, Allison called and checked on me. Melvin, LT, all y'all, man. I appreciate every last one of y'all calling, checking. Wendell called and checked on me. So I appreciate you guys, and I want to just say thank you, and I love y'all.
Love you too, bro. I won't be able to make it this weekend, and you know why. And it has to be a good reason for me not to be there for your family. Like they're my other family. So Dad will be missed. You know, I talked to you right before everything went down. So Mama, you know, all your sisters, love you guys. I'm there with you in spirit. If you ever need anything, I'm here. What else you got for us, man? How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I will tell you that I watched Masters of the Universe Revelations. They brought out the second part of that. So, you know, that's been good. And liking Hawkeye. Hawkeye's really good.
So back up. So it was good?
I like the second part. So it just dropped last week. And so it rounds out that initial story that they had. So I liked the second half of it better than I liked the first half. It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't like groundbreaking, but Oliver really got into it, and so that I think for the demographic they really are going after, I mean, it's what it needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, like in Hawkeye, it's pretty good, but I just want to announce that we're moving on up to the InspireU. So we're hitting the radio. We're gonna be on the on a radio station called InspireU. It's an online radio station, so you guys will be able to listen to us in all the radio glory. We can put as much music as we want behind ourselves, and in this, so it's going to be a fun experience. So three brothers moving on over to InspireU, but you still can listen to us on any podcasting platform just like you've always done. So that's not going to change. So starting in 22, we're kind of just expanding and trying to get into some syndication. So the brothers trying to do some big things. So we'll give you guys more information on it next week. But Three Brothers Mondays is still going to be there, 10 o'clock on InspireU. Check us out.
Check us out. What you got for us, Buff?
So, Razi, I know we've been doing a lot of asking how are you doing. How's your mom doing, man? Because she lost her life partner. So how is she doing?
She's actually she told us, she was like, Bobby, you guys know she called my dad Bobby instead of Razio. She was like, Bobby feared the Lord. He knew he was comfortable. He was ready. He fought a good fight, and she feels like he's in a better place. So, it's hard, and she's struggling at times. But I mean, she took it a lot better than I took Jen's passing. I could put it like that. Mm-hmm. And I think a little bit of it is she's leaning on me, which makes me feel really well or feel really good that I've been through it, and that's unusual for a son to be able to say that I've lost a spouse. And, I know what you're going through and I can empathize. So that's been a big thing that, she can kind of lean on me. And she asked me one day, we were talking about the funeral, and you guys know she moved up here to Birmingham, and we were talking, the funeral's going to be in Mobile. And we were talking about where we were going to stay. And all of a sudden she said, me and Bobby can stay at Gina's house. And then she kind of stepped back and caught herself and was like, he won't be there. And she asked me, she was like, when do I stop that? Or like, how long is it going to be? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to stop. I still do it with Jen sometimes. I'm like, when I'm talking about the kids, I say, we did this or we do this, and so I'm like, that's going to happen. But at the same time, that just shows how deep of a connection you had with him and how ingrained and intertwined you guys' lives were. That, you always, when you traveled, you thought you guys were going to be together and y'all had to do things and stuff like that. So, but she's getting it, man. She really is doing well, really as well as can be expected. And looking for how she puts back the pieces, because they were building a house. And so we got to figure out, do they want to still live in that house, or do they want to, does she want to still live in that house, or does she want to get something smaller now? And that type of thing. So there's a whole lot of decisions that have to be made in the next month or two. And so she's just got to try to put the pieces back together and put her life back together as best as possible.
So definitely give her my best, man. The other thing I want to talk about was Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe talking real greasy right now, man. I don't know if he really said this, but he reportedly told Putin, hey, dog, what we didn't do to you in 2014, we'll do to you this time, bruh. So watch your step. So I just can't imagine Joe talking like that, man. So
Kamala wrote that speech.
That was kind of funny to me, man. So I don't think we're going to go to war. I think it's going to be just more sanctions or whatever like that. But some of this is Joe's doing. The administration rolled back some of those sanctions, and then Putin started doing what he was doing before the sanctions again. So they kind of made this bed a little bit, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that, what is he, 78, 79 now? Old Joe saying, hey, man, look, we ain't going for that this time. So just something to keep your eye on.
Kamala taught him to clap back, bro. That's all it was. That's all it was. Kamala taught him to clap back.
Buff, is that wine? Are you drinking wine now?
It's been a
I drink wine.
It's been a rough day.
I drink wine.
A long day.
Yeah, it's been a long.
I'll see you. You don't drink wine often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Not on air.
Not on air. No, not on air.
No.
But it's been a long week, man. It's been a long week.
That it has.
Been working a minimum of 12 hours a day every day this week. Whew. But that's all I got, man. What you got, Ferg?
I got a couple of things. So I'm gonna start off with Verzuz.
Oh man. So good.
Yeah, that was so entertaining.
You ain't gonna be mocking me while I'm on stage.
I mean,
he ain't gonna be.
Yeah, it was just entertaining because as much as I rock with Bone, it just what they brought wasn't a good Verzuz. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a good matchup. I still don't know who I would have put him against. I can't think of who do you put Bone against, but it was hella entertaining. Who?
Nelly.
I guess
that kind of singy. Type of. I think
maybe.
I think the feel would be because when you got crunk music or that 3-6 just kind of club music, you can't put that up against Bone. Like they're two different.
Them strip club classics don't go against so don't flow well against some weed smoking music. But I mean it was good. It was entertaining. Busy Bone, Lord. But the features were so dope, man.
Yeah. Busy Bone is the Sherman Cooley of Bone.
Nope. Won't even say that because Sherman would have brought the smoke. It wouldn't have been no bottle throwing. Sherman would have ran into the crowd. The old Sherman, y'all ain't gonna keep doing my boy like he doesn't have any self-control. Sherman is a 41-year-old grown man with self-control.
That would still set this shit off in the words
not
of
like that though. He wouldn't okay, I'm gonna just stop. But the music was dope. 3-6 showed how classic their discography is. They got some bangers. They got some bangers.
Last month, not last week. Sorry, listeners, we got a private chat going on.
They got some bangers that Bone just couldn't match the energy. Bone got some bangers. It was the energy. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
The energy,
you need somebody that can match that same energy. For me, I think really the only people that could go up against 3-6 is Little John.
Mm-hmm.
Could probably go. I could see him doing it, and maybe that's about it. Truthfully, that could go up against 3-6, unless you really want to go into when we start talking crews and stuff like producers, where they can bring a lot of different songs. But you don't have any like artists or like groups that can do it like that.
Yeah, but no, it was a good Verzuz. Juicy J and did his thing. They closed with Juicy J, right?
Oh yeah, slob on my knob.
That was so hilarious. I'm like, with all the things that closed with, they closed with Juicy J, slob on my knob. And speaking of Juicy, damn it, Juicy, was it Juicy?
Juicy
Smouye. That dude. I don't even know. Is he a snitch? How do you snitch on yourself?
He was telling on everybody.
Everybody.
Done, let me text me.
Nigga, they coming. Oh, man.
Did y'all say he was found guilty, right?
Yes.
5 out of 6.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's wild, man.
So we went from taking up for him to him being a joke and kind of letting it die to this dude resurfacing and telling it all.
I am a little disappointed in the media, though, because I heard way more about that little simple, nothing to do trial than I did about the woman that mistakenly shot the brother because she thought it was her stun gun, her taser, and wound up shooting him. Barely heard a peep out of that trial, but I know almost every detail of Juicy Smouye.
Juicy, damn it, Juicy.
Yeah. It's like Succession, man. They're selling what people want to hear about. It really don't matter what people should be hearing about.
Yeah. What you think about Succession, by the way? You like it?
Man, it's so good. It's so good.
It's so much drama. I told somebody it's like the Trump family if they were competent. And you merged them with Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch that owns Fox News.
Oh, Murdoch. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like the Trump family owning Fox News and all these other entities. It's
so you might make me check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah.
And my last piece, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is goddamn Bama.
Hey man,
them boys. I don't know.
Hey man,
boy, Saban is. But that dude is
he's coach's
that
coach.
Dude is that dude. I almost be like, does he throw a game? It's like, okay, this is the, to wake these boys up or something, because Georgia looked like the truth until about 8 minutes into that game, and they just got punched in the mouth. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if, and I'm an Auburn fan, so I wouldn't be surprised if Bama get another one. I don't know what's going to be worse, because it's Bama fans in general are bad. But then I have a Wood that was on our show, Norwood, that was on our show a few months ago, is a diehard Georgia fan, and he is one of the worst college football fans. So I don't know who do I want to lose more, Wood or Alabama fans. He is worse than all the Alabama fans put together.
Wow.
Yeah, he is bad. Like he showed up with he had a watch party, because in his mind this is the year. He had a Georgia cardigan on, flip flops, everything. He had about 3 outfit changes. My boy ended up shutting. That boy, he ended up not even shutting the party up. He shut the power off.
he hit the Martin step.
Yeah. So, but no, I would give it. This dude is a diehard Georgia fan. So if they win, as much as I'm gonna hate it, congrats, because I don't know if Bama can beat them twice, but if anybody could do it, it's them. And there might be that big brother syndrome too, where they're mentally screwed because Bama got their number. Definitely. Outside of that, let's jump into it. Is my baby girl asleep?
Yeah, she's in there. So, but it's okay. I think I got a pretty good one for y'all. So it's real quick. I mean, because puns about the body are generally corny and everything, but puns about the eyes are usually even cornier.
So who goes first this week?
I don't know if it's Razi or is it you? I feel like I went first last week.
Yeah. So it might be me. Is it me or you?
Y'all just gonna ignore my joke. Okay, I think it is me. Whatever.
I think it's me.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. All right, fellas. So
C-Tab, we're trying.
Exactly. we're all leave my computer alone, by the way, Tab. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, we all are fathers. Razi, you are the father of 3. Ferg, you're the father of 2. I'm the father of 1. My question is this, because it definitely has happened to us. Tell me about the time, if this has happened, and I hope it has. Tell me about the time that your child tried you. Like, this is the day that I got a little something to say back. Or maybe I'm not going to do what they just told me to do. If it has happened, tell me about the time your kid tried you and forgot who you were for a second.
Ooh.
Sorry, Haley, he about to throw you under the bus.
It could be Sophie. It could be Sophie.
It could be Sophie. Very well could be Sophie.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. I don't think Haley's so laid back. I will say a time that I guess it would be considered trying me because it just made me so mad. It was when I bought her car. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but
The Jeep, right? Oh,
the Jeep, yeah. When I bought her the Jeep, we did all this searching for cars. I'm like, I gave up budget. I'm like, what do you want? We thinking about it, looking for cars. And she couldn't make a decision. She didn't know what she wanted. And then I ran across this like super awesome deal on the Jeep. And so I was like, hey, you want this Jeep? It's it's safe, it's big, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, okay. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we go get the Jeep. We finally get there, get the Jeep. She drives it. And then all of a sudden I hear her like complaining about the car to her mom. And I'm like, what? We had a conversation about this. Like, I asked you, did you want it? You were like, yeah. And then she was like, well, I didn't want to tell you no. And I'm like,
it's a car.
It's a car. I bought you a whole car. Mm-hmm. Like, and so it was one of those things that it really made me mad because of the fact that I gave her the opportunity to voice her opinion, get what she wanted. She couldn't find anything. She said yes to it. But then all of a sudden, when she gets the car, she's complaining about the car. And so that it made me so mad. So it wasn't really a I'm gonna do what I want to do thing. It's a I'm gonna let you do what you want to do, and I'm just gonna talk about it after the fact. So that really I think is the closest to just them trying me. But I will say I'm really happy that I did get that car because of those safety ratings, because she got in a really bad car accident and like almost nothing happened to her based on the car and the build and everything. So I'm happy I got it regardless of how she felt about it. So she'll be all right.
Did you read the room? Like when you took her to see the car, what was her face expression like? You know what I'm saying?
It was straight. Yeah. It was like, she was like, okay, all right, okay. Like, it wasn't I'm super excited about this car, but at the same time, it was like, okay, it'll grow on me. I kind of like it. It's good. Like I asked her because, we went test drove it or whatever. And then like before we bought it, we walked away and I bought it the next day because I was like, I want to talk to you, not in front of the guy, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, yeah, I like it. It's cool. But I don't know, man. I don't know what happened and why she just like switched in her mind. I think what happened is it's buyer's remorse, right? Once you actually get it, then you start seeing other cars and thinking that, I could have got that one, I could have got that one. And so she just ended up, complaining.
So Byron, you got to remember everybody's first car wasn't the Stanza. So Razi had no, bro, you love that Stanza. Razi had the Yak. And the truck.
I had the Grand Am, yeah.
The Grand Am, yeah, the Grand Am and the truck. So, and then I had the Priuses, the little putt. So
no, Fino had the egg.
No, Fino had the egg. I had the putt. So, can you remember I had to reroute my I don't know what window did.
What was it? It wouldn't go in reverse?
It wouldn't go in reverse. It wouldn't go in drive, so I had to drive it in third.
And the worst part about it is you would still pull in like it would go in reverse. You wouldn't park where you didn't have to reverse.
What were my options? My goal was to find a parking space where you can pull all the way through. And if I couldn't, I tried to park on the incline. Otherwise, somebody had to push the car out. Somebody got to drive.
Cooley had a car that would cut off on you in mid-turn with traffic coming in.
So when you talk about read the room, Byron, everybody doesn't get that the Stanza with the beats and the rims. So
it didn't come with beats and rims, Ferg.
But you saw a vision. You had a vision for your car. So none of our cars had visions.
So truth be told, what I wanted was a Maxima, like the one the one they stole on Menace to Society. What I could afford was the Stanza.
I think it was a 94 Maxima. That's what me and Huli used to talk about, the 94 Maxima, because Uncle Roy had a Maxima we wanted.
Oh man.
But I can't see, my kids are so young.
Yeah.
Skylar is such a pleaser that she hasn't really tried us yet. TJ, TJ doesn't even care about trying us. He just gonna do what the hell he want to do regardless. That's just him. He is.
He constantly tries you.
I call him Mr. No. Like just TJ, you sleepy? No. You want to wake up? No. You want to get down? No. You want to stay where you at? No. So that's just all he does. So I can't really, his whole try is a mood. So I guess I'll default to myself. So I think the last time I tried a parent, I might have been a senior in high school. I feel like I came from track practice, some kind of practice or whatever it was. And, Mobile got 1,000 trees. And, the house we stayed in off Gloria York used to be Finch Ave, had all those trees in the yard. So my mom is super neat. So she kept the house immaculate and she wanted the yard immaculate. And me, I could care less. I don't want leaves all in the yard, but I had to do what I had to do. So every day my mom wanted me to come home and rake the yard. So I would rake the yard, and by the time my brothers got home, they would help me pick up the leaves and stuff like that. So one day I raked the yard, picked up the leaves. She came home. I'm sitting there watching TV or whatever. And then she comes in. She came from the grocery store. So I go get the stuff out of the car, and she's like, "Did you rake the yard?" And she's putting the groceries. I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "It don't look like it." I'm like, "Mom, it's the fall. That's leaves fall. That's why they call it fall." And as soon as she heard that, that's why they call it fall, right? She had a can of whatever it was, beans or something. She threw it right at me, and she had aim. Like I caught. It was one of these. I had to. Like she had perfect aim, man. And so I realized she was about that life, and I had to my mom got all these brothers and sisters, and they grew up fighting, and I had to realize my mama was about that life, and I wanted no part. So that was the last time. I think that's a good try, right? That's a good example.
Yeah, you tried it.
Yeah. I thought it was making like, "Mama, the leaves fall. That's why they call it fall." Like I'm literally raking and leaves are falling. It's discouraging, bruh. Like you're sitting there raking all, and she wanted all the leaves gone. And so as I'm raking, leaves are just literally falling on me like, "Nigga, get that one. What about that one?" So
now I can tell you sometimes of me trying my mama or whatever.
Or dad.
Yeah, dad. But no, I think I told y'all this story before. Yeah. The time that I told my mom that I respected her enough because I let her whoop me.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "What you mean you let me whoop you?" And then she raised her hand like she was about to hit me, and I grabbed her hand. I was like, "See, I can stop you at any time I want." Ooh. And then that didn't go good because she called my daddy and was like, "Bobby, Razi hit me." I'm like, whoa.
This escalated quickly.
No, like, when did I hit you? So she still tells that story that I hit her, but I never hit her. I stopped her from hitting me.
Bro, you just stay in trouble. You used to just say the little smartest. You can't say anything. You would say either you didn't say something or you said too much. It was, "Razi, what'd you do at school today?" "Huh? Nigga, they ask the same thing every day. You gotta have an answer." Or your mama will say something and you'll have the Razi smart ass comment. And it was, "Well, I think you need to take Ferg home." God dang it, Razi. It's time to take, how many times it was like, "It's time to take Ferg home." Like, God dang it, bro. We over here chilling and somehow you done said something. And it's like, "Yeah, dog, I'm on punishment. I can't come out for a week." Like, we already knew that. So, Byron, every other week, what did my little sweet, innocent, poor Jasmine do to you that could possibly make you so upset that you asked this question? Because I feel like you're looking at it the wrong way.
Well, she actually had an instance with her mom. Was it last week? But I won't even tell that story. This happened a few years ago, and Jasmine and Tabitha, because they spend a lot more time together than me and Jasmine do, they have their rifts from time to time. Jasmine has never really tried me. For whatever reason, she's told me things like, I scare her when I get mad and all that kind of stuff. So I try not to even, she has to really take me there for me to even get mad at her, because I try I have conversations with her, and I will sit down and say, what are some of the things that you don't like that Daddy does, and how can we do something better? Like we have real talks with her, things that I wish I had growing up. So we let her give her input. She rarely tries me, if ever. But every once in a while, I guess when she gets mad enough, she'll try Tabitha. And this particular time, I forgot what they had gotten into it about. And I'm always trying to play a fair mediator. So I called her in the room, and we're talking, and Tabitha was still heated, so she wasn't trying to hear any of it. She kind of shut Jasmine down. Jasmine runs out the room crying. So I'm like, T, we was in here, we was trying to talk. You wouldn't even let her get her point across. You cut her off and immediately shut her down. And that's one of the things we said we weren't going to do. So Tabitha's telling me her point of view, like, no, you don't understand this, that, and other. I'm like, but we said we was going to handle it this way. So let's go in her room and let's try to do this again. All right? So I finally convinced, I'm convincing Tabitha. You know what I'm saying? I finally convinced her. We head towards Jasmine's room. And as soon as we get to the doorway, Jasmine's still being upset, crying. I don't think it was directed at me, but it don't matter who it was directed at. Because once you come at Tabitha, you're coming at me anyway. But she did something, I don't know if she had been watching too much TV or what. But she did what my mom used to call some of that TV shit. We get to the doorway, she slams her light switch off and says, "Leave me alone," and stomps to her bed or whatever and gets in her bed. And it was the way she did it, like the timing of saying that and slamming her light switch. I clicked. I said, "Oh, who the I don't even want to say exactly what I said, but I did go in the room and I did do some straightening out. But I couldn't believe that she had done that. And I was like, wow, she really took me there. She really tried us. I mean, I believe she has this thing that stops her door from closing. It's like this colorful. Ferg, you've been here. I don't know if you remember. Yeah. It's still there. She still likes it there. So she can't slam her door, but she might as well have slammed her door the way she acted.
Because the way you were leading up to, bro, I thought she slammed her door. And I'm like,
she might as well, bro. That leave.
Because for me, the day
or told y'all to get out of her room. That's even just as bad. Yeah.
The day anybody slams a door in my house, there will no longer be a door on that room.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take it off the hinges.
Well,
now you don't have
when you get your when you get a podcast, you could talk about that time my daddy took my door. Ain't no more door.
But yeah, for the most part, I just want everybody to know she is a sweet girl, but she's a teenager, and and she does this thing too when we get on her. So, like I told you, she just got into it with her mom last week, and I was telling her, you can't talk to her like that. Full stop. I said, there are going to be times you get frustrated with us. I get it. I was a teenager. But you're going to have to learn how to keep that to yourself. You don't talk to her like that. And she's like, does this mean I'm a bad person? And I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah.
That's
like so, like, I'm like, no, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're not going to do it no more, though. But
yeah.
So Sky, all you have to do is put Sky on a yellow card and that spoils her day. They don't do nothing, change nothing about, she gets to eat. Like it's no punishment, nothing. It's just like, it's nothing. It's Sky, you're working towards a yellow card. Just even mentioning that will just.
So y'all give them out at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she got one in kindergarten one day and it messed up her day. And Tabitha was ready to go fight, by the way. She was like, I know my child deserved on you. I was like, yo, you gotta relax.
She probably just talking too much. It's nothing. She thought it was going to go on a permanent record or something.
The teacher said she had told her to do something, and I think she didn't do it right away or something. But Jazz was like, I didn't know what she was talking about. But because she had gotten green cards every day.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I was a green card thing, man. I was racking them up. I don't think I ever got a yellow card.
So that's good.
Thought it was going on my permanent record.
Everybody kids are good, so that's good. Well, yours are young, Ferg, so a couple of years.
Oh, that TJ
revisit.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
TJ gonna be the one. It might be Scott too, because she is her mother.
Mm-hmm. Ollie tries to do the little stuff like I'll be like, hey, go do something, and he'll be like, I'm watching something, or like, I'm in the middle of this show or whatever. I'll do it after, and I'm like, no, you can do it now or whatever. So that's just the little try me, but that's nothing, because once I say no, go ahead and do it, he gets up and does it. So but yeah, he'll try to get through that whole I'll get to it later type thing. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess I'll stay on the whole, we got kids, and all three of us have girls, and eventually those girls will become young ladies and adults and women.
Probably.
And yes, yeah. I mean, we don't know for sure. We just assume, but with that being said, there's gonna be little boys out there, and little boys around this age, and I assume in the future, like to send unsolicited pics.
Little boys,
and
grown men.
Grown men, yeah, whatever. Yeah, men. So I want to ask you guys, is sending an unsolicited D pic sexual harassment?
Yes. Yeah, like if it's just completely like if the chick is like, yeah, I had grilled chicken and asparagus today. What you have? Boom, this meat. Hell yeah, that's sexual harassment. Now, I imagine there are a couple of guys that have probably, misread the room, like they talking, you know what I mean, maybe about positions or something like that, size, and he just kind of want to, show it off. I guess that's it's always degrees and different things and tiers, but just like out the blue, I would imagine that's kind of
not even just out the blue. If it's not, just being honest, especially when you're dealing with minors, that's dangerous, because you don't know where that person is mentally when it comes to sex. Have you had that conversation with them? How jarring is that? You look up and your 12-year-old daughter, some guy sent a picture of his dick to your 12-year-old daughter. Like, that's, what kind of crap is that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you have that conversation with her? Especially if she brings it to you. Like, Daddy, look what this person sent me, and now you have to say, why would he do that? Why would he think that I wanted to see this? That's a real conversation. And these are minors. Even if she is potentially sexually active, it doesn't give the guy the right at any age to do it. So especially young. And so
or even adults though. I mean,
that's at any age.
Grown men are sending it, and so what kind of the onus of the question? Kristen Elise, she on Facebook, she made a post, and she was like, I'm gonna start exposing these dudes. Y'all keep sending me these unsolicited D pics and all that stuff, and I was just like, I didn't know that. I thought folks say that, but I didn't know it was like a thing. Like, guys do it, like chicks get them all the time, but because not many people like just that comfortable to be just like sending them out like that, or I didn't think. So I was like, folks were like, really, really do this? And she was like, yeah. And then she was like, and it's unsolicited, and it's constant, and it's borderline sexual harassment to her, because she's constantly getting them. Like, she opens a DM, and she's like, I don't know. I might get one today, it might not. And so like, I'm scared to open my DMs.
It's not even borderline. It's full blown sexual harassment just on the internet. So that's just like walking out your door and it's like, oh, like it's just there. Like you're walking back from your mailbox and you turn to the left, there's a there. Like that's exactly what it is. Right? There's no sugarcoating it. Because you literally, it's just there. It's no different than a man you're walking down your neighborhood and somebody just pulls their stuff out. Like it is the exact same thing.
Right.
And because
flashing,
you know him, it's like your neighbor, like,
somebody.
hey, John, oh, sorry, you did that. Like it's the exact same thing. And the fact that guys are so cool with it, and for a lot of times, I think I'm not going to put the blame on women that they're accepting it. It's probably been normalized because they've seen it so much, and it's just like everything else, microaggressions or whatever. Like doesn't make sense to fight it until it gets to the point where enough is enough. Because I get the question becomes like at what point is enough enough? Like, okay, 1 pick a week is not too bad. Oh, 2, how do we get to 5 picks a week? You know, like right. What is your breaking point for? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't the first one, right?
Is she the one that posted like the conversation of it, Razi?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that post. Yeah, I saw it. So it seems like from what I read, she actually was kind of feeling him or whatever, and then he went left by doing that. So he messed up his own chances.
It's like being on a date. It's like, oh, come back from the bathroom, bam. Dude, I mean, because it's just, think about not being in person. No matter how much a chick is feeling you, unless you're like at home in your bed or in like, you know, when in doubt.
And I think a little bit of what makes them so comfortable is there is no law on the books for it right now. Like, you can't take that text message thread to the police and it's like, hey, he flashed me on the internet. I want to press charges. Like, you can't do that right now.
Why isn't it no different than indecent exposure?
I think you can. I think it just.
That's what I mean.
I think you can if you really want to. But it has to be some type of. It's got to be some type of harassment, I would think. Because like you can.
I don't know.
You can go to the police about someone harassing you online. I thought.
No one needs. No, I'm not even going there because that might get you in trouble with your job, bro. So I'm just let it go.
But yes, I think it's definitely sexual harassment.
Yeah. Guys, stop this shit, unless she asks for it.
And probably needs to be addressed. But
or like I said, women hold a lot more power. They start putting these like, this is John Simmons, all 3.5 inches.
Like Chris has said, start posting them, exposing them. Like, hey, he sent me this. So
I don't even know.
The same way. If they start sharing the same way guys be sharing nudes and stuff, I
don't even know how much they would care. What was that? It was some social media app.
Oh no, niggas would care.
That I don't think it even exists anymore. Best. But it was a social media thing to where you just randomly see people for 10 seconds at a time and then switch to the next person. And like people kept complaining because guys just kept showing their penis.
Yeah, but because it switched. But if we're social media friends, we're 3 brothers, no sense. How many followers do we have?
Oh,
if somebody came, let's say if it was one of us, somebody's like, okay, that's enough. They came, posted on our page, and it's how many people know us. There's no way to delete that. That would be somebody's going to save that, somebody's going to copy that, and it's out. And I don't think there's any way that any guy I know on social media like that they're that cool with it. So,
but like you said, Ferg, stop that, fella. Stop that. If you know anybody that's doing that, tell them no. I mean, it shouldn't. Unless she asks, unless you clear it with her first, don't send that. Like that's like going, like you said, that's going out in public and opening up your trench coat in front of somebody. And thinking that's cool.
So, ladies, is this a thing? Are you all getting as many pics as Kristen? Like, is it normal to get 4 or 5 in a week? Like, let us know. Like, I'm kind of like Razi. I didn't know it was a thing. Like, I knew maybe 1 or 2 guys every once in a while would do some crazy shit like that.
Yeah, like, is there an acceptable amount of like, is it pick spam or something? Like, you just expect so many pics a week.
Move to junk.
The way she described it is like pop-up ads.
Exactly. Like, is there an acceptable amount? Like, it's like spam. Like, you expect to get on a normal week, so many pics, and it's like, okay, this is good. I need to unsubscribe. So wow. Oh man. I don't know what I want to talk about now. My question is a little more serious. So let's pause it here for a sec, Razi. I'm going to send you guys a video because I was having a conversation via text with Porsche last week, maybe. And she was asking me a question and asked me to look at this video, and I wanted to share with you guys and discuss.
Who do you call when you are at your lowest? Who is that one person?
Nobody. I'm a man. No one cares.
Not a single soul. Nobody.
No one. Because I'm all alone.
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say I don't call anyone.
Nobody. I'm a guy. Nobody gives a shit.
Speaking for the guys when I say this, literally no one.
Y'all call someone?
Nobody. Just nobody. Got no one to talk to, so nobody. Who cares? Nobody.
No one. I'm a man. No one cares.
No one. Not a single f***ing person.
I wouldn't call anyone. I wouldn't turn to a single person on this earth because they don't care. They will just find a way to use it against me one day.
We can call somebody? I just thought nobody gave a f*** because I was a man.
So you guys got a chance to watch the video, and so Porsche sent that to me last week, and she said, like, I had no idea. Is this real? I'm like, for most guys, I think it's true. And so we had a deep conversation about it. Even guys that do have that outlet do have some things. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about it, because I think over the last year or so, or over the time we've been together, you know, we've had plenty of opportunities to have deep conversations. So I'm going to let whoever wants to start.
I think when they say at your lowest, like I don't think at any point I've thought about I'm sitting there boohoo crying or something. Let me call my homeboys right now. Like, now I might get it all out, you know, get myself together and then call you about I'm having this issue. And so, you know, for me personally, I do have people I can call or will call. You know, you two, prime example, right? I think we've called each other at points. And it's like, I'm having this. How do you deal with this? You know, I'm stressed right now. But at the same time, I know for me, I sugarcoat it a little bit, or I you kind of downplay it. You kind of play it off like it's not as bad as it might really be sometimes. And so I think it is. The video is kind of spot on when it's like when you're at your lowest, you're probably not going to call anybody else. But I don't think it's because I feel like folks don't care. A lot of guys on there were saying, you know, nobody gives a shit, or, you know, nobody cares because I'm a man or anything like that. I don't think so personally, because I know people who care. I know you guys care. I know you guys will be there if it needed to be. But it's just one of those things that you were raised kind of to handle your own, to manage your own feelings and you know, stand on your own and not lean on people. And so, you know, but I've talked about that. That's an issue for me anyways, leaning on people, depending on people. I just want to kind of do it myself. So yeah, I'm on the fence with it, truthfully. I mean, even though I have you guys and I know I can call you, I don't know if I'm going to call you at that lowest or whatever that they said.
Agree with most of what Razi said. You know, when you're at your lowest, that's the time to let it out and then maybe try and figure it out. And then you contact someone who you think can help you with it and add to what you feel like you figured out, and they can add to it. And hopefully you pull yourself out of whatever you're going through. I personally, as Razi said, I personally have people I feel like I can call. You two, definitely Wendell, Sherman, my wife. But I think by and large, I think I don't want to speak in absolute, but I think there's something to, by and large, people not caring what a man is going through, because you're a man. You're supposed to figure it out. So Well, that's kind of off topic. I'll leave that there. But yeah, I think there's something to that.
Yeah, that saying of man up is the perfect example of that, right? It's like when somebody tells you to man up, they're essentially saying ignore your feelings. You know, we don't care what you are going through. You just need to make it happen and keep pushing. So, you know, just that phrase is to coin another phrase everybody loves. That phrase is toxic. So, you know, I would definitely, I try not to use that actually, especially with my son. I'd never say that to my son, man up. But I think that's one of the things that we definitely need to try to change and change that mentality of manning up, meaning bottle up your emotions and don't worry about them.
So there's a couple of things. Yes, I do have people to call, and I'm going to start with this. I don't think we're the norm. Just being around other men, having family members, a large family, the fact that Razi, you and I are in a fraternity and we have all these frat brothers and people we've been able to build a relationship above SWAT, you know, we have another brotherhood, you know, that we can lean on each other. That's not the norm for the average guy. I personally know men who at the end of the day, even if you talk to their wives, they feel like these men don't have anybody to turn to. And you know, like you said, you can turn a tab buff. You know, what if that wife, something going on with your wife or something you don't want to bring to her? Because like we said, that there's that toxic term, man up, that she might support you, but will she look at you different? Almost like the question we had a few weeks ago about, you know, willing to fight for your woman. Like, she's glad you stuck up for her, but at the end of the day, this nigga over here whining, he need to figure it out. Like, I'm here for him, but he need to figure it out. So I think that's a big part of it. And I think the average guy just doesn't have it. So those men I really feel like speaking their truth, because man up, I feel like it's universal, right? It's not just, I don't think it, and maybe just because I'm an American, that's what I'm thinking, but I think that's a universal, as much as women want to say we want equality and all this stuff, at the end of the day, you're the man, you need to figure it out.
I'm not sure they want equality.
But that's a whole nother conversation. But you guys both hit on something. We have to figure it out, or we find somebody to help us figure it out. So Razi, you're saying like, if you're at your lowest, you're not going to call then. You got to, if you're at a 1, you got to get to a 3 before you give somebody a call. And you almost kind of have a plan of action. Like, hey man, I'm doing this. You're already kind of figuring it out, where, and even going through therapy, sometimes it's like, it's not even about figuring it out. You know, the women in our life, they'll call their homegirls and they'll just sit and wallow in that emotion. You know, they'll call each other and it's okay. Even Z was telling me something the other day, and in my mind, I was trying to listen, but I was trying to figure it out, because that's what we're wired to do. Because when we see somebody hurting, our idea is to figure it out. So, my follow-up question, why do you feel like we have to be at a certain point before we're ready to, for the men that I feel maybe be a little more mature, we have a little more access to outlets to express our feelings and what we're going through? Even then, why do we have to be at a certain point to make that call? Why can't you call right then?
Well, I guess for me personally, there's only so much I want to dump on somebody. So I don't want to, the video said, call someone at your very lowest. So I don't want to be at my very lowest and call up Razi, call up Ferg, call up Wendell and say, boom, here it is. This what I'm dealing with. This how it's making me feel. And this is how, I'm at my lowest point. I want to at least, first I want to let it out. Like if it's something that's making me sad or anxious or nervous or whatever the case may be, I want to try to just be in that moment. Those are feelings that we go through and we need to experience it. So I want to go through that first and then begin the phase of figuring it out. So by the time I do bring it to someone I can call, I'm not dumping so much on them, because whoever you call, they have stuff that they have to deal with from time to time. You know what I mean? So I don't want to add to that. I just want to call because I respect their opinion. I respect their mind. I know they'll give me what's best for me as far as advice. And so I only want to bring but so much to them. They doing like Renata did that episode. He's writing down notes.
Yeah.
Razi, what you got?
I'll say I think, like Byron said, you just want to try to get it out. And I hate to say it, but we don't want to seem weak in front. Like, it's hard to be vulnerable in front of anybody.
That.
We've been, and I don't know if we are wired that way from birth, or we've just been raised and nurtured that way. I fight with that nature versus nurture thing. I really feel like we've been nurtured to be that way. Like, society has told us you can't be weak, you can't show weakness, you can't break down in front of anybody, even your friends. And so it's, at this point in life, it's still ingrained in you, no matter how enlightened you get and how open to talking about your feelings you are. It's still hardwired in us at this point where you still have to go to your friend and even talk about your lowest points, but you got to talk about it with your face on. So you can't call them or go over their house and just sit and cry, right? It's like, I'm gonna do that at my house by myself. And once I stop for crying and I can talk to you like a man, then we'll talk about my problem. And so it's you're not ready to be that vulnerable to anybody.
So you've said a lot of things. So I agree with both of you. And the question still is why? Why are we wired though? You said it. I agree. Nature versus nurture, I think it's a blend of it. There's a couple of things that were brought up. You said, we got to deal with it like a man. Subconsciously, you're still putting that is a male trait. Like, when you think about it, women have to deal with problems too. But for whatever reason, we think as a man, that is our duty. That is an innate part of us. We have to deal with our problems. We kept talking about how do we solve it? It was the questions, who do you call when you deal with at your lowest? At no point did they ever say that person had to solve your problem. In our mind, we are wired to go strictly to problem solving, right? So why are we always thinking about problem solving versus dealing with the emotion? So that's something when you guys were saying, like, we're all talking about the same thing. We're still trying to figure out how to solve this. And so I'll be vulnerable. And I think my lowest is I called you and I called action. And that's when Z and I were in the hospital and we lost a baby. Mm-hmm. And I called you, and I want to say, as far as I remember, that was one of my lowest moments because I had to call because there was no way to solve it, right? My lowest moments are the things that there's no way to solve. I'm a very analytical person. I can figure out a path. If my house burned down, I can figure out, okay, we lost everything. I'm distraught. Okay, let me file, let me get the insurance. I start working out a solution. What's next? How do we get this back? But when, Z and I are sitting there and we lost a child and I can't do anything for her. I can't, baby, we'll make this right. Give me some time. I'll figure it out. I'll get him back. There's nothing I can do. I called you in action. And I feel like if I wasn't boo-hooing, I was sniffling my ass off. I had snot bubbles or something. And I'm pretty sure you can sense that because for the first time I can remember my adult life, there was no way to solve it. And when I couldn't solve it, that made me even lower. And for the person I wanted to protect the most, I can't come back to her with a solution. And I remember that. And it took a lot for me to make that call. But I didn't know what else to do. I needed to talk to somebody. I needed to get it. I needed just to talk. And I think all you guys say, I'm here for you. Let me know what you need. Because there was nothing, I can't call Razi or Action or whoever. And then I call my brother. There was nothing that anybody could do to solve my problem. So, yeah.
And I remember that call. And I think we stayed on the phone almost 30 minutes. And literally there was probably 20 words said the whole 30 minutes. Like when you talk about sniffling, but no, bro, you were boo-hooing. Like you were literally were just like crying. And I just sat on the phone with you as you cried. And there's a trick that I learned in therapy, because like you said, I'm a problem solver, right? I'm always trying to solve problems. Is when people are bringing issues, to ask them, am I here to just listen, or am I here to help you solve? Because then you know what they're bringing to you and why they're bringing it to you. So yeah, I just sat on the phone with you because that, like you said, there was nothing that I could do. There was no action plan at that point. It was to let you get it out and let you know that somebody was there for you. And then after that, we could go forward. So
let me ask you this: during that time period, because Byron, you brought up being like people have their own stuff and you don't want to burden somebody else. Were you in the back of your mind trying to figure out a solution? Like, it's because that's how we're wired, right? We're always wired to initially.
I think for that one, there was no solution in, right? It was literally just letting you get it out.
What can you do?
Having empathy for you, but like I've never dealt with that either. So it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, I I was just talking about with my mom, right? It was like I've been through those things, Mom. So let me tell you how I got through, and let me tell you what happened there. I couldn't do that for you, so I wasn't trying to problem solve that. Other than, what do you need? Like you said, what do you need from me? What do you need? If you need anything, let me know. If I need to make a call so you can get some clothes go get somebody to get some clothes from your house or whatever, I can do that. So it's what do you need? Whatever you need, I'm here for you. But no, I wasn't trying to solve anything because I didn't know what to solve. I didn't know what I could do to even solve it.
And I think that was one of those rare moments. But I think on general, when somebody calls, we automatically, the same thing Byron was saying. So like, you're calling because you want to respect their mind and all that stuff. When you guys call, my thing is like, I'm hearing them. What can I do? Because for one, I'm uncomfortable putting my burdens on you. And so I know how uncomfortable it is for you, or I can imagine. So I'm trying to help you come up with I'm trying to do for you what I would think I want you to do for me, which might be actually the wrong thing. So I don't know if y'all have anything else, if y'all want to share or whatever, but that just made me think of that moment. It's like, I did have some people to call, but outside of that, I can't really think of another, for me.
Yeah. So, and I think most people, going back to that, I think most people do have somebody they could call in that lowest moment. They just don't feel comfortable making that call.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a little bit of it too, is we need to get people comfortable making the call, not necessarily thinking of, do they have somebody? Because I'm sure they have somebody, that they could call, and it's a homeboy, it's a sibling, it's a parent, it's somebody that they could call and would be open to being there for them and everything. It's just that person feeling comfortable doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, anything you want to add, Buff?
Nah, man, that was a good one though. But
all right, sorry to bring down the show. I know we were on a up, but so Portia, if you listen to this show, you got three men that I think you half respect at least. They answer the question. You hear how we think about it. Let us know what you think, ladies. Let us know what you think, fellas. Please share. Let us know if we're right or wrong. Was I wrong that that we're rare and all guys have a lot of people they can talk to? So outside of that, let's go ahead and let's do it.
Parting shots, man. All I got is I want to say thank you guys for all the support for the Jenica Kimberly Shopping Style event. As we record today, we haven't had it, but I'm gonna go ahead and speak it into existence. It was a great event. We were able to raise a good bit of money because I know we've already raised a good bit of money for the scholarship. So I can say that confidently even before the event starts. But the auction, there's a lot of great things on there. So I assume that most of them are going to get sold. And I just want to thank all you guys for the support that you showed for my family and everything with that event, as well as, for my dad. So appreciate it for everybody.
Two things. One, so Ferg, I think you posted last week, not long after the Michigan school shootings, just how devastated you were about that. And I made a rather controversial post, so controversial that I wound up taking it down. But I said, I no longer care about school shootings. And a couple of people like inbox me like, did you get hacked? Like, what's going on? You really mean that? And I'm like, well, it is sarcastic in a way, but how much do we really care about school shootings? Like, name me the bill that's being pushed right now to address it. Name me the political figure right now that's pushing it right now. Name me the celebrity that's talking about it, driving it home right now. When we wanted Obamacare, the then President Obama spent his political capital 9 whole months, took a supermajority in the Senate to pass it. They worked on it all year. It created the Tea Party. That's how bad they wanted it. When our politicians want something, they get that shit done. We got one party that says they care about school shootings. They say something about it immediately after the school shootings, and then you hear nothing else about it. And you have another party that's saying, hey, look, guns don't kill people, people kill people, can't take away guns. And then we as citizens, we make our little post on social media, oh my God, it's so sad. And then we go on about our business. How much have you heard about that Michigan school shooting since it happened? You heard about Juicy Smollett. You heard about, I think LeBron might have did something in basketball. He got a fan kicked out of a game or something like that. You heard about a couple of football games. America doesn't give a fuck about school shootings. So Byron caring about school shootings isn't going to matter one way or the other. So yes, I am sarcastic about it. And I felt like that post, people were not going to read it and they were going to take it the wrong way. So I did take it down, but I somewhat stand by it. We need to get serious about school shootings and the safety of not only our kids, but just people in public places, point blank, period. And we as citizens making our little posts and saying how much we care when we're not doing anything to push the people that can do something about it to do something about it. When we're sitting at home, not voting in certain elections, not holding politicians accountable, then no, I'm not going to care. Care for what? Thoughts and prayers, and then we move on. So that's all I wanted to say on that. And I was going to talk about shopping style, but Razi, you addressed that. So when you listen to the show, it's Monday. Thank you guys for supporting that. There was some great prizes in that, by the way. Trips, J's, you know what I mean? So hope you took part in it because it was a great, great event and it's going to a great cause.
Okay. Well, thank you, fellas. Well, I'm going to close it out by saying congratulations to my baby sister, Tegan Ferguson. She is she's a graduate of Alabama A&M University and a 2-time graduate. She's just graduating. She graduated last summer and didn't get a chance to walk. And she's actually graduated this past summer as well with her master's in engineering. So, so proud of you, baby girl. She is my little role model. Like I tell her, I want to be like her when I grow up because she's just doing great things. She's doing it right, and I'm proud of her. So we will be in Dallas this weekend. So, I told Razi and everybody knows I won't be able to make it to the services, but I am there in spirit. Tegan, love you. Great job. Keep it up. We'll have fun in Dallas. My whole family's coming up there, so we're coming to support you and celebrate you. And it'll be my birthday, so Razi, I might try to splurge a little bit on my birthday for the shopping style if I can get what I want. So outside of that, 3 brothers, no sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.